Hi, everybody. So I just want to clarify my position on veganism because a lot of people are not getting it correct. They're saying that I have rejected veganism. That's not actually what happened. So I don't know if you guys remember, but I had a debate with Vegan Gains, and I basically told him that I would go vegan if he would endorse anti-natalism on his channel. He flat out rejected my offer, and yet he still wanted me to go vegan. He tried to manipulate me to explain why I should focus on the animals, and basically everything that he said went in one ear and out the other because I didn't hear anything about how it benefits me. I didn't hear anything how it benefits the human species. All I heard was extraction about how it benefits the animals. So until you tell me how it benefits humans, my own species, then I'm going to reject that. Now, I originally said that I wanted the vegan society to change their definition of veganism, but I felt that I could make a more reasonable ask. I could ask a large content creator to use his influence to help change the trajectory of the vegan movement, and he flat out rejected it. So I guess I'm going to explain it in greater detail because a lot of people are not getting it right. They think that it's about me not caring about animals. And I think this is the wrong question because they'll say two wrongs don't make a right. That I should do the right thing anyway, even if they do the right thing. But my problem is that this is not solidarity, this is extraction. This is an illegitimate relationship. Now, I've already offered, I've offered to go vegan. They just rejected it because they didn't want to reciprocate. They didn't want to negotiate as equals, right? They wanted a hierarchical structure in which veganism dominates antinatalism, and I flat out rejected it. And I was correct to reject it. So let me be clear about what I want if you want me to go vegan. And by the way, this is not just me. For all of you, for those of you who support my movement, the life abolitionism movement that liberates humans, I never said you shouldn't go vegan, but don't do it in a way that is exploitive, that is extractive, where you don't get anything out of it and you just are sacrificial animal to somebody else's cause. Don't do that. So here's what I want. I want vegans to expand the definition of veganism to include harm against animals, not, excuse me, I want them to expand the definition of veganism to include harm against humans and not only apply it to animals. Because their current definition is specious as hell. It's the elimination of animal exploitation as far as possible and practicable. It says nothing about human exploitation. And I don't even like the word exploitation. It should be about harm because that exploitation word is also kind of I don't know. It sort of is a huge loophole where you get to harm animals without exploiting them, and then that's considered ethical. So I want to change the word exploitation to harm, and I also wanted to include humans. Because if you're not including humans in that definition, then it's a non starter. Now, once you focus on harm, then basically procreation is automatically included in that because procreation does harm humans, right? They want to focus on your diet only as if that's actually going to change something. Humans are harmed by being brought into existence, just like animals are harmed being brought into existence. So they will tell you that it's wrong to breed an animal against their will, yet they have no problem breeding humans into existence against their will. So it's a completely arbitrary standard. And if you want me to go vegan, this is my demand. This is not a negotiation. This is a firm offer There is no room for negotiation. Expand the definition of veganism to its logical conclusion, a definition that takes harm seriously and not arbitrarily. And then I'll join the movement. I would go vegan when you support my movement, when your movement actually makes sense, when your movement is actually supporting harm reduction. But if you want to keep your arbitrary species definition that does not benefit animals or humans in a real tangible way, then I cannot support that. It is what it is. So I'm not asking vegans to abandon their animal advocacy. I'm just asking them to follow their own principles to their logical conclusion. Veganism, as it is currently defined, is the opposition to the exploitation of animals. That is the foundation. But if you were to apply this definition consistently, humans are also animals. Humans are also brought into existence without their consent. So for vegans to procreate is unnecessary suffering imposed on humans without their consent. And this is a complete double standard. The fact that humans are a different species does not change the structure of the imposition. In fact, I would say that it amplifies it, it compounds it, because the human, I know they're not going to like this. I'm not going to say that humans suffer more than animals, but humans suffer in a way that is completely different from animals. We have an awareness of past and future. We it's almost like you know that you're going to suffer 10 years down the road, so that actually compounds it in a way that animals can't imagine. Understand that animals may have physical pain or torture, but at the same time, I don't think that animals have egos. I don't think that animals care about being dominated by other humans. They don't care about injustice in the way that humans do. So I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to grant that animals are subjected to greater physical pain, but the psychological pain, I don't think is I don't know. I think it's different. So every additional human being consumes resources, requires land, produces waste. And I'm sorry for being repetitive, but it's like I have to state the obvious because nobody seems to be getting it. They're driving the very factory farming that veganism claims to oppose. The most impactful thing you can do to reduce harm to animals is to not procreate. So if vegans were serious about reducing harm to animals, they cannot avoid this logic. But they will attempt to sidestep it because they don't actually want to follow it to its logical conclusion. They're not actually trying to eliminate harm to animals or humans. They're just trying to take an ethical position that does not actually accomplish anything. Procreation is harm. It harms the human who was brought into existence, and it harms the animals who will be sacrificed in order to maintain the human. Now, Peter Koropit wrote about mutual aid. It was a challenge to every system that justified one party extracted from another in the name of a higher cause. The state does it, capitalism does it, and activists do it. Mutual aid is horizontal, it flows all directions. It does not recognize a hierarchy, it is not a vertical arrangement. It does not say animal suffering matters, but human suffering does not. It does not say that veganism, or I mean, it doesn't say that antinatalism should be subordinate to veganism. Mutual aid is solidarity. It is not extractive. So what they will say to me is, what do my actions have to do with yours? That I should do the right thing regardless of what others do. Two wrongs don't make a right. Again, they're missing the point. I'm not refusing to go vegan because I'm trying to retaliate against vegans. I'm refusing to enter a structural arrangement that is hierarchical, where anti-Nazism is subordinate to veganism. That is an illegitimate relationship. So it's not about their behavior, it's about the structure of the relationship. So when they say two wrongs don't make a right, they are assuming that my refusal is wrong. It is not. This is my boundary. You have rejected my offer. You want to extract. I'm not going to participate in your hierarchy. The wrong in this equation is the structure of the relationship. So when they say, what do my actions have to do with yours? I want to be clear about what that actually means. It means that you don't get to elevate your cause above mine and then treat my cause as irrelevant. It means that the relationship has to be reciprocal. Reciprocity is the foundation of mutual aid. Without it, there is no solidarity. Instead, you have an extractor and an extractee. You have a movement that extracts allies from or extracts resources from potential allies without offering anything in return. You have a vertical relationship in which one party is above the other. This is not solidarity. This is domination. This is vegan domination, where veganism has to dominate other movements because this is the only urgent matter that is important. Your causes are irrelevant. You should just ignore and disregard your cause and focus on our cause. How does that work? It does not matter that the coercion, that the extraction is not legal or that the state isn't involved. It is hierarchical. It is a vertical relationship in which one movement claims the authority to define which causes matter, rank its cause above others, and then demand that everyone else subordinate their causes to support their cause. This is vegan domination. No one is saying that animal suffering is illegitimate, but the structure of this relationship is illegitimate. It is support without reciprocity, subordination without equality, labor extraction without mutual aid. So, this, to reiterate, the problem is the structure of the relationship. It's not the fact that I'm saying veganism is wrong. It's not because I don't think that animals deserve liberation. But if we're going to do things, it has to be done the right way. And for some people, you may not care about the structure of relationships. You don't mind being dominated. I very much mind being dominated. I don't like being submissive. I don't like that. It actually is a huge blow to my ego and my self esteem. I don't like being somebody else's bitch. I really don't like it. I really don't. It bothers me to the core. So, what I want from vegans is I want them to support my right to opt out. I mean, obviously, I want them to change the definition, but I'm just saying strategically. I want them to support my right to a humane exit. They have the numbers on their side, right? They're 2% of the population. They have all the resources. They have vegan advocates. They write their books. They want to talk about animals only exclusively and say nothing about human suffering. Yet they want your little powerless movement that has very limited resources to support their cause. They want to extract. I'm not going to say that humans are enslaved in the same way that animals are enslaved, but the bottom line is you are enslaved. You don't own your life. You are being extracted from. You are here involuntarily. So vegans need to stop procreating. It's not complicated. It's not hard. It's actually easier to refrain from procreation than it is to change your diet, to change your entire lifestyle. But they feel entitled to do it anyway. Every time I've tried to hold them accountable, they have all these excuses, these appeal to nature fallacies that, oh, my child will be vegan, so they're reducing harm. Or they'll even say that the child has a negative carbon footprint, not just zero, but a negative carbon footprint, which is absolutely impossible. Your child is still consuming resources. Maybe it's a lower carbon footprint than an omnivore, but it's not zero. And it's sure as hell it's not negative. Now they will say I'm callous because I won't budge. I'm not going to budge, nor should I, nor should anybody. You should be as callous as possible. Double down on your position. Have some self-esteem. Recognize that human suffering matters just as much as animal suffering. If they're going to be callous, if they don't want to budge, then you should not budge either. This is a firm offer. This is not a negotiation. Reject their extraction. Reject their demand to go vegan without offering anything in return, because you're not doing it just for the animals, right? That's what they want to say. The animal is not asking you to go vegan. It is a human that is asking you to go vegan. They're doing it because it makes them feel good. This is their ethical position. They're asking for something from you, and you should ask for something in return. That's how mutual aid works. So, my offer is still on the table. Expand the definition of veganism to include harm against animals, which should have been a part of that definition in the first place. Recognize my right to opt out because you clearly don't, I mean, in principle, you don't support slavery, right? So don't gaslight me and say I can Toyota Corolla myself, that I already have it, that you're so compassionate, I should just get over it, suck it up, think about the animals. Don't be a coward when it comes to fighting against power. Don't punch down and point your fingers at the people who are already oppressed and struggling to exist. Punch up. Fight against the power structure. Stop being a coward. Show up when humans need liberation. And then I will gladly support your movement, not as a subordinate, but as an equal. I refuse to enter a vertical relationship. I only support horizontal relationships where we are equal on equal footing and equal parties are relevant and important. So This is a firm offer. I'm not going to negotiate. You can call me callous. You can call me solipsistic, narcissistic. I really don't give a shit. Your words don't liberate me. Action liberates me. So if you want me to help you liberate animals, and by the way, you would want me as a vegan advocate. You would absolutely want me because when I support a cause, I go all in. I don't do this half-ass bullshit where you just talk and don't really do shit. You want to recruit me out of any. Let me not be so arrogant. Um, Let me just say this: when I support causes, I go full. I go full throttle. I don't just do things. I don't do half measures. So, you want me to be on your team? You absolutely do, because I'm going to actually do the work. I'm not going to just sit around talking. So, if you want, this is a fair offer. Support my cause, and I will support yours. Now let's see who's here. Gaia. I don't know. I don't have a time frame. I do it whenever I'm able to do because I'm very busy. Sometimes live streams run over. If I do them at night and people are still talking, I have to cut it off. So I just do it whenever I'm able to do it. I don't really have a schedule for doing live streams. Now I do try to do them on Thursdays. I probably will do a longer live stream. So um that's just my rant for today. I don't know. I could do a pre-recorded video if that would be easier, but I mean this doesn't have to be a panel discussion. If somebody wants to come up, they can, but I could end this live stream now. Okay, there's very few people here, so I don't think this is going to be a long discussion, but I can post a link. There's the link right there. You do realize you're engaging with hierarchy with this whole vegan versus anti-nanism argument. It seems like you are missing the point. No, this is not hierarchical. This is horizontal. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the whole point of this live stream. I'm offering mutual aid. I reject extraction, so it's not hierarchical. And if you think it is hierarchical, maybe you can explain it to me because I'm not seeing it. I'm not saying that anti-natalism should dominate veganism. I'm saying veganism should not dominate anti-natalism. That we should be equal. So there's the link. If you can explain to me how it is hierarchical, you're welcome to come up. But I don't see it that way. But with that being said, I don't think anybody's going to come up right now. Maybe I did choose the wrong time, but it's fine. We don't have to have a long panel discussion. I said what I said. I just wanted to clarify my position. And so I guess I will go ahead and end this live stream.